give me a thumbs up. Hi, it's Lindsay Wilson, and you are here for $350K in 30 days, which sounds insane to me and actually is real. So I am delighted to be with you today, and I'm nervous. I'm just going to be honest. I'm supposed to say something vulnerable in a couple of minutes. Those of you who know me know that when I'm nervous, I over-deliver. And so you are going to learn things here that you have never heard before. I've never heard them before. And I am completely committed during the next hour to give you everything I possibly can to allow you to get off this with actionable steps that will completely change your business. So, if you are not familiar with me, a couple things to know. I've done sales for 25 years, overseen $50 million worth of sales. I truly did make $350K in 30 days using Facebook ads and high-end sales, and we're going to walk exactly through that. Later today, I'm even going to give you some ads that you can copy, and for $6.99, maybe go close some five-figure deals yourself. So I make entrepreneurs money. I consult with clients. I have, over the course of time, been a number of entrepreneurs you probably know on social media. And I will tell you, if you have never used Facebook ads and hate technology, you are totally in the right place. If you are someone who has used Facebook ads a lot, done really well, but perhaps is not making the money that you'd like to make, you are completely in the right place. And if you're somebody who's wasted an awful lot of money on Facebook ads and not really seen a return, maybe seen more likes on your page or gotten more leads that haven't been appropriate, but cannot figure out how to mesh together the technology and having more ease in your life, then you really are in the right place today. So, without any further ado, I'm going to jump right into content. I'd love it if you join the chat on live stream. You can just jump right in there and leave your comments. I do read them all, so if there are things I can help with, I will. And be forewarned, I am not going to sell a single thing today. Nothing. So if you're interested in working with me further, there may be an opportunity to do that. It has to be a mesh. But there's not going to be a big sales pitch. There's not going to be any big, like, you sign up here, you get these 8 bells and whistles. This is truly content for the entire time, and I promise you, you will walk away with things that will change your business today. So, cool? Ready? Awesome. So, the things that we've talked about that we're going to cover today are, first of all, the exact Facebook ad strategy that leads to high-end sales. A lot of people are brilliant at Facebook ads, but there is a specific strategy that actually will allow you to find high-end leads and close them. I have a client, the first client, who started to implement this after I found that it was working like hotcakes for me. And the very first lead that she got was someone who had $1 million in their pocket from a celebrity investor to spend. So I hear you. Facebook ads. People aren't going to have money. There are so many broke people. Yep, there are so many broke people, and there are so many people with a lot of money also. The next thing we're going to cover is the hottest trend in high-end that's working right now. You will find that a lot of people are talking about high-end, and I think the thing that will separate me from them is this. I am not about slapping a big price sticker on something and calling it worth value. Not at all. The people in my 60K program will tell you that I am there when they need me. Boyfriend breakup, I am there. You would be surprised how much love and sales have in common. A Facebook ad that's not working properly, oftentimes in the middle of the night they will find me there. I have 2 babies under 2, and I am sometimes up then. And so I am a firm believer in the fact that if you are drawn to me, there's probably something that goes on with you a little bit around worth and value. And you're probably waiting for somebody to give you permission to step up your game and to offer more and to receive more. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you're looking for get rich quick, I don't know that that's really the point. So that will not be the direction we are headed in. And the universe, after babies, my English is a little funky sometimes. I think it's the hormones, or I don't know. the universe responds to action that's taken with integrity. So we're going to talk about that today. Somebody this week I was talking to said, you know what I love about you? Your marketing is not gross and disgusting. And it gave me the opportunity to see there was a way to do marketing that was not that way. And so I will tell you, you will find nothing gross and disgusting here. We are also going to talk about the one thing that most people do that blows this strategy. So you can have all of the perfect Facebook ads, the perfect high-end offer, which we're going to walk you through today. And then there is one error that I consistently see people make. There is a new way to sell. It is not the gross days of yore where you sell your mama to pay for a package. If you really cared about your business, if your car needed new tires, if you've been an entrepreneur for a while, you've probably heard all of those. That's not actually what people respond to in this day and age. And so we're going to talk about exactly what people do respond to. And then we're going to talk also about the thing that I looked at this and I thought, I really put that as a bullet point. Do I really want to cover that today? And I really do. The number one thing that people say about having worked with me, I'm going to get choked up, is that their life really changes. And I will tell you, I have clients who, you know, started with a take-home pay of $40K and are getting ready to cross 7 figures, who have bought houses that they've named after me, who have said that, I have chills, that they have more expendable income than they ever imagined they would have in their life, who have gone through extreme difficulties. Life happens. Business is not a straight line where you just like decide to make it a go and it goes. Let's be real, as entrepreneurs especially, business really is impacted by how we're doing, and I've had people who have had challenges that I don't know that I could honestly have walked through with as much faith as they have. And at the end of the day, having a good life that has a business that supports what you were born to do is really where it's at. And I know, we're not going to get too spiritual on you, but I know that the deal is that if you're in alignment with your purpose and what you came here for, that you can actually put up a really bad Facebook ad. And if you keep putting it up, I mean, you do want some strategy with it, but you'll be blown away when I show you that this is a $6.99 ad that got me a 5K deal recently, because it's imperfect. But there are a lot of smart things about it, and God bless the universe, because it does show up for you and take care of you. So here we go. Oh, and I'm supposed to say, I'm going to give a gift. There is a crazy gift. It's insane. I even am a little bit hyperventilating about giving it, but I have people that push me, and so I'm giving something bigger than I've ever given before. It's not an ebook. There's an opportunity to have some time with me so that I can show you exactly how this can work in your business. And so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Okay, so let's start with the Facebook ad strategy that gets high-end leads. If you want to grab paper and pen, feel absolutely free. And we're just going to dive right in. So the most important thing to know about doing high-end sales through Facebook ads is this. No one clicks on a buy button on a website and buys a 50K package. I mean, if they've talked to you already, perhaps, but I don't even know anybody who really does that. There are $300,000 masterminds out there. There are huge, huge price tag offers. And I don't think anybody is clicking, you know, from a Facebook ad to jump into a 300K mastermind. So what you need to know is that the strategy that is involved here is one that really has to be of high-end value and service, and there's a certain kind of language, a certain kind of visual, a certain kind of etiquette that's involved in that kind of thing. If for a moment you take a minute and think about, and feel free to even close your eyes, like, what is the highest of level of service that you've ever gotten? Like, when did you feel special? When did you go somewhere and you really felt like your needs were almost known in advance and anticipated, and you were served. That's the kind of environment that we want to create through your Facebook ad. And you may think, like, how the heck do I do that with a little ad that pops up on the side on Facebook? Well, first of all, don't do an ad that pops up on the side. But second of all, you want to really cultivate a path that someone can take that is comfortable for them in terms of reaching out for big transformation. So we can spend loads of time talking about high-end packages and what they need to involve, and we'll spend a bit of time later talking about that as well. But what you really want to start with on your Facebook ad is generally something for free. People are busy looking at pictures of their grandma's dogs, of their best friend's wedding, of the people they went to high school with and how skinny are they, all that kind of good stuff. And so if blam in the middle of their news feed is something that says, buy my $60,000 package, it's never going to work. I will quite frankly even tell you, it's interesting because when you start to teach something, you have to look at your own stuff. Actually now there is a place on my site where you can apply for my 60K program. But that's recent, and that's because we're shifting sites, and so I just was like, I need to have some stuff up there that represents me. My site isn't the way that anybody really buys a lot of stuff from me anyway. So what we really want to do is provide value, provide service, give them something awesome for free, and collect their email address and walk them forward. So a lot of people already know that, right? That's fairly basic Facebook ad strategy. So let's add the piece that really takes people to high end. I will tell you, I was even, when I was creating the content for the class today, I was like, this is such a big secret. Like, this is such a big part of the strategy that works. Do I want to give this on a free class? But then here's an example. So you probably saw me in a Facebook ad, right? Like 700 of you RSVP'd from Facebook ads. And you saw something for free, a free webinar, right? So then if I'm going to sit here and I'm not going to give you something of big value, A, I'm not practicing what I preach, which doesn't make any sense, and B, it doesn't really serve you. So here's the thing. You want to offer a complimentary session. You want to get on the phone with people. You want to chat. That's how high-end sales get made. If you look at the biggest business deals that get done in anywhere, it is not through some intimate, like arms reach away, like not close, not connected kind of transaction. It's people who are having lunch. It's people who are talking on the phone. It's people who are on the golf course. It's people who are friends. It's people who have known each other for 20 years. It's connection, right? And so you've got to get on the phone with people. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how you want to do that later, because it's not just about getting on the phone. But a huge part of what you want to do in your Facebook advertising is offer people the ability to step up to be able to speak to you. So there's big tip number 1. Is this helpful? If so, if you'll type in the chat. Oh, good, there's Andy. He says, yeah. So let me know if this is helpful, because, oh, good, and Chris, look, so many people. I'm not supposed to look at the chat. It's like a rule I've made up because then my eyes go down. But I love so many people here. So nice to have so many of my clients here today too. And you're going to hear, if you're my client, stuff that you've not heard before. Oh, and look, there's Brian Ryder. Yay! So many good people. Like, get in the chat, just because there are amazing people here. If you want a tribe of non-yucky people who are so committed to making it happen and skipping like the long road and the junky stuff and the yucky stuff, like, get in with my folks, because they are the biggest blessing of my business. So here are the other pieces that you need to know. Besides having a conversation, some things you want to contemplate in your Facebook ads. So first of all, your photo needs to be social. It needs to not look like a canned corporate headshot. It needs not to be clip art. It needs not to be something that people just, their eyes glaze over when they see it. What you want in your photo is this: something that really resonates in someone's body and in someone's emotions when they see it. So I will tell you that the ad in my 350K in 30 days that rocked it, if you are on my personal page, if you're a friend, you'll see it. It's a candid shot of me and my family It is not one that was ever meant to be published at all. It was a crazy thing. I put it up on Facebook. People loved it. Facebook and business is all about testing. You don't want to know the answers in advance. You don't want to spend time thinking about your Facebook ad. Honestly, learn the strategy, get it up there, see what people resonate with, because it is hard to predict. So I am laughing like crazy. Got my new baby in my arms. I am just weeks after having a kid. My hair does not look like my headshot. My son is throwing a ball. My sweet husband is looking at my little boy. I don't even particularly like the backdrop in the photo, which none of you have probably ever noticed, but we have to get over ourselves. And I had people who went from that ad straight into my year-long program. So, you want an ad that feels congruent with social media. For instance, it used to be popular a couple months back to like have pictures, oh this is awful, it looked like drunk girls, you know, you'd be like, oh my gosh, is that someone I went to school with? And you click on it and it would be an ad for like whatever. It was, you know, like not an ad for anything that it represented, but it would grab your attention, because when you're on Facebook, let's be honest, like most of us are there and we're thinking like, do people like me? Who don't I like? Or looking for, you know, there's such good content on Facebook. Like if you're not connected with people who are preaching it every day about business, like connect with them. There is such good tribe on Facebook. You know, there are groups, like if you've got a problem or an issue, if you're dealing with fertility or weight loss, like you go there for support. So you've got to think about the fact that you're with someone when they're in that kind of space. It's the genius of Facebook for sales. Long ago and far away, I said, do not spend money on Facebook ads, because when they first started, I was, as other entrepreneurs, you know, doing $80,000 worth of sales in 2 weeks at Christmas to somebody's tribe that I didn't even know, and I didn't even know the stuff that I was selling. It was so easy to reach out. Now it's terrifically different, right? The algorithms have changed. Only 16% of the people even see stuff on your fan page. Like, don't build a fan page. I mean, you need a fan page to do Facebook ads, but the short path to high in sales is not getting likes. It's not the point. So you want your picture to look personable. People will even put up photos that are imperfect of them. So I've been experimenting all over the board with all sorts of stuff. And it's been terrifically difficult. Like, there have been things that have been put up and I'm like, wow, I cannot believe that that photo is going up of me. And it is amazing what the people who need you want. The people who need you know so much more about you than you are ever going to know. So you want to know what those things are. One of the things I preach is talk to people who've worked with you. Get them to tell you 3 adjectives or phrases that describe working with you that have nothing to do with your brand. People will say consistently that I'm loving. They will also say I'm loving like Jesus, not in a romantic Valentine's Day kind of way. I'm loving like here's the truth kind of loving. And so when I put my ads together, you better believe I try to put that into the ads. So have a photo, you know, me with my 2 kids and my husband, like laughing, and so in love with my life. Like, it becomes clear to people, and that's 50% of what people are buying, that it had nothing to do with what was being sold in terms of the photo. Now, what you also want to think about, besides the photo, is the graphics that get used on it. So you need to have something that's really results oriented. I could like talk about this for years, and we are on point 1 and we are 20 minutes in. So I'm going to make this a little bit brief, but you really want to think about this and take it home. So you really want to have results in there. You know, my ad 350K in 30 days, like, it's on fire because people are like, that's a result. I would like that, right? You want to always be in service. It's something I will tell you about when you get on the phone for high end. It is about listening. It is not about talking. It really is about listening. I have been getting on a lot of calls to be sold to see how that goes and that works, because I think role playing is key. I've got folks in my year-long program who are flying in next week for a retreat, and we are going to be making sales phone calls together. And the key thing that we are going to be doing, if you're watching, is you know, doing some role playing and really listening, because when people feel really heard, sales truly at the highest end is about people wanting to be loved. I worked on Madison Avenue with like more celebrities and wealthy families than you could ever know. And what blew me away as, you know, this little girl from a small town in the Midwest was that somehow the fact that I'd been raised in a way to respect people, to pay attention to people. I'd been trained as a salesperson. I was the worst salesperson I knew. Seriously, I would turn away money. Was on full commission. I would not have enough money to like go buy a $3 jar of peanut butter because I would like tell people that the moisturizer they wanted to buy from me would give them acne. So I hear you if you're tangled up a little bit about high-end sales. But people want love, and sometimes it's a swift kick in the pants. You know, if that's your brand and people like that you're really aggressive in their face, be that. But people are really looking to be served. So you want to think about throughout your ad, the language that you use. You want it to be intimate. You want it to be as if you were writing to your grandmother or best friend, whoever that ideal client is for you. And you want it to really serve the needs of the people who are there. So they want to know what results they're going to get. And the thing I always say too, it's like, so when you're at the grocery and you're checking out and you look over at People or OK Magazine and you go, oh my gosh, I've got to read the latest whatever. And you know that it's like the lose 20 pounds in 20 minutes or what's happening on The Bachelor is like not really what's important, but it's a gut impulse buy. Your Facebook ad has to be that gut impulse buy. People don't even think about it. The visual goes in, it's fast. The words, if you use a newsfeed ad, which I would recommend, starts with, you know, if it's like, hey, buy my, you know, whatever, people just glaze right over it. But if it's like, psst, or do you know a secret? Or if you're just joining the show now because you saw my ad up that said, where are you? It's social, it's connected, and it moves people to the next place. And I would also say it's important to stand out. So an ad like that, you know, one of my most popular ads in my 350K was an ad that went out that said, did you see my email? People were like, oh my gosh. And that's an ad that went specifically to my list. So, you know, we could talk for days about Facebook targeting. Like, do you know, this is awesome. This is a tidbit I picked up from somewhere else. I was on Perry Marshall's webinar as a guest recently. Facebook, inside of Facebook, is starting to do retargeting of ads. How cool is that? So any of you who know about that can get how powerful that is, not just because it's a one-stop sort of shop, but now you can do different types of ads than you've been able to do with other things. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that at the end, because there's a specific kind of ad that will get you 16 times the return that any other ad will. But there are, you know, like the new sign up buttons, the new, you know, read this, do that. They're rocking. So you absolutely want to be on top of all of those changes. There is definitively something to being a first adopter. If you are ahead of the curve, if your ad appears novel, if your opt-in page is different and unique, I will tell you, once people click on my ad, they get to my opt-in page and I have a 57% opt-in rate. And that's over loads of time. We're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And it's because there's a video in the background. And that's just cool and new right now. So there are other pieces. Your copy has to be concise. You've got to know your brand. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to put together here. But if you can wrap your mind around not just the technology and not just the customer care, but also the sales strategy, you're golden. Because there are very few people who are doing a good job of that right now in Facebook ads. Facebook ads will probably not be where it is soon. Facebook ads is cheap right now. It's cheap. I have a client who's a business coach, the lovely Michelle Vandepass, who had like gotten 150 leads for 87 cents a piece. Insane, like dirt cheap. We could just go on and on. I could sing the praises of a million people. But you want to do it now. Because you can target in a way that is insane. You can target people who drive a certain car who've never shared that online. So Facebook ads is really smart, and I definitively encourage you to take the short path. Because the other thing you don't want to do is this. If it's taken you like longer than an hour to put together a funnel to get you clients that are on the phone, there's a problem. Do not fall into the entrepreneurial trap of amassing loads of info and getting no results. The ROI is key, and I don't just mean in terms of you spent 87 cents on a lead, how much are they buying, but I mean your time. There's a fast way to do this, and that's what's key, because high-end sales can also, oh, I can't even believe I'm going to say this sentence, high-end sales can be a trap. You can spend a lot of time delivering stuff to people, and it can be just dismal, you know. The big shift for people as they switch from 6 to 7 figures is quite frankly like same issues, just more income, you know, more expenses, more difficulties. It doesn't feel any better than it felt at a different place. So the thing that I am here to say is, you know, I can rock out a Facebook funnel in a half an hour. And so you want to do that, and you want to have phone numbers at the end of that. And it's doable. It's not hard. So I shouldn't say, sometimes I say it's not hard. My clients are like, not for you. So yeah, that's partially true. Yeah, it's not hard for me. And you want to figure out a way that it can be not hard for you. So let me tell you a way that maybe it could not be hard for you. You ready for this? And I'm not selling anything. So if you want to go to Social Media Heaven, my website, heaven.com/350K. K like kajillion, K like kite, K like, is it kilo? And that's why we say it for thousands, 350,000. So socialmediaheaven.com/K. And we're going to do it a little bit backwards. I'm going to show you the $6.99 ad that in a 45-minute phone call sold a 60K package for me. And I'm going to show you, if you're like, how the heck do I put this together in a half an hour, a way that it makes me nervous, it makes me sort of ill to my stomach, a way that you and I can spend some time together and I can show you how this can work for your business. This is crazy, and I'm offering free sessions. My hourly rate's $1,000. You can't even buy an hour from me. I will not have time legitimately to give 700 hours away of time. So you enter your info there about what you want from time with me, and I'm doing hour-long sessions with people to really give you a plan. It's not the same info that's here. It's not info you're going to find anywhere, but it is me hands-on showing you how you can move forward with your business. If we get way too many applicants, then we might look at some of the people who work for me helping you on this. So, you know, give it your all. Really let me know how I can be of help. I love helping people who implement. I love helping people who are really committed to their businesses. I will tell you that I started as an entrepreneur. I'd done loads of sales for everybody else, and then when I had to find my own clients online, I was like, internally stuck, quite frankly. I don't even know that it was an external thing. I just wasn't ready to make money. Let me be real. And then I got really clear that I wanted 2 kids. I was near 40, and I wanted them to grow up financially sane. Based on that commitment, my business in the next 8 months went to 6 figures. And it's flown since then. There is nothing I won't do for my kids. Nothing. So, you're going to have to write a compelling application to get me to spend time with you rather than my kids. But here's the truth. If you are down, if you are ready to move forward, if you're ready to do like 350K in 30 days, if you are coachable, if you know where you're stuck and what you need help with, if it's internal, huge piece of what I do with people and why their lives gets better is because I do really fast work to shift the internal stuff so that you can get the external. then we'll take it from there. So let's talk about the ad. It's so funny. It makes me so nervous putting that out there because I'm a generous person. I will give and give and give. And I think that you will find that people will say that all the time to me. It just sort of floors me that I'm going to do that. And you know, if you're fit and you want to move forward with me, then there are some spots where that is possible. I don't have a lot of them. And we can talk about that too. But that's not the intent of our time together. The intent truly is to show you a plan where you can use Facebook ads, make high-end offers, and get closer to the why you're here. Get closer to your purpose. And I want to support that. And that moves me. And that gives back to my children in spades. So, the $6.99 ad. Okay, let's take a look at that. So if you scroll up to the top of socialmediaheaven.com/350K, then you will see a $7 promoted post. So first of all, you can promote a post on your personal page. All you do is you write a little post, and for me it takes a couple of minutes, and then all of a sudden promote pops up where you see sponsored right now, and you click that, and Facebook here in the States will charge you $6.99. For my international folks, it's whatever converts that, but it's not expensive. And it will promote it to loads of people, so a lot of people are seeing it, because as we know, the posts on Facebook, they get seen based on where they rank in the algorithm. And so, you know, what works about this post are a couple of things. First of all, it's brief. It has a heart. Says the word curious. It doesn't say much more than that, right? And so that heart, if people say that I'm loving, pretty much is descriptive and brand on, right? Wouldn't you say? Gorgeous graphic, right? Aisha, if she's in here, feel free to type your website. Did a gorgeous graphic. You will also see that the gorgeous graphic gets cut off. So in the event, I wasn't able to actually get it so that it worked perfectly. So imperfect action is queen, as they say, or king. So it's not the most beautiful ad in the world, but the other reason that it works, besides the really nice comments from Shane Johnston and Brian Ryder and other folks, is because when you click on that and you go over to the event page to sign up, you see a lot of social proof. You see a lot of people who had signed up for the class. You see a lot of people saying really nice stuff about me. And so it is not a long road to travel to go from, oh, this is interesting, curious. Well, sure, you know, it's not like a here's my webinar, it's coming up, you should do it. It's like a, yeah, that's my People magazine, right? And a heart. Wow, I hate hearts and I hate people who are loving. I'm not going there. Great. So then I'm not attracting people who are not my client base. People go, oh, that's really sort of cute and sweet, you know, like, let's see what's cooking. Click on this. Oh my goodness, like, not only did she have social proof in the comments, and you'll see that again, it was not an ad that had loads and loads of comments, right? But it got you over to the page, and then when you clicked on the link, it got you signed up for the webinar, and it offered you a strategy session, right? And so that's the exact path that it went. And that's just one example of one ad. There are loads of ads that are a lot more strategic, that have gotten a lot more return. I just wanted to give you a quick down and dirty example of one that is not hard, doesn't require any technical knowledge, and brings great results. I have a lot of clients who are doing similar things and getting, Sherry Rowland got like, what, Sherry? It's like, is it 24 requests for strategy sessions from a $7 ad? That's a pretty good return on investment, right? So there you go on the $6.99 ad. And I will also say, so if you're applying for the free session and you don't hear from us right away, it may be just because we are getting loads and loads of applications. So hold tight, we will get to you as we can and really strive to serve you. And, you know, I also am going to provide so much more information during the rest of this webinar that you want to hang tight because you really want to check out the rest of this stuff. And knowing a number of these things will be helpful during our time together. So let's talk some more about high-end offers, okay? So we talked about a trend in high-end offers that's selling like hotcakes. There's my Missouri background. Like hotcakes is so high-end, right? Works. What we want to think about is this. You know, not so long ago, internet marketers did a lot of like, buy my ebook, get my 89 DVDs. It wasn't DVDs, it was like MP3s. You know, buy this product, flashing red button, big arrows, and that's not what is working these days. In high end, and really the new way to sell, is high touch. And it's fascinating to say that in terms of something where, you know, loads of my clients are international at this point, quite frankly. And they're not people I met at networking events. They're not people that I've even, isn't that funny to think about the fact that for those of you who are international, we haven't met in person? Because it feels very intimate, right? Because there's a way to conduct business that's virtual, that's very intimate in a way. And so, you know, I've seen pictures of their kids, like stuff that you in a normal business relationship 10 years ago may have never experienced with someone who was a client. So when you look at what works in high-end sales, it's twofold. First of all, consulting, services, even for product people. Let me be really clear. I actually have sold more product in my life than I have services in terms of quantity. And I mean, I've sold like $1 million condos on the phone. So in terms of money also, I did sell, you know, moisturizers we talked about before for like $35 a pop. But I've sold a lot of big products, a lot of $60,000 pianos, a lot of, you know, like we could go on and on. And what is working and trending not just for service providers, but also for product folks, is looking at some way to leverage and to provide your information in a way that folks can spend time and learn from you. So you make jewelry, like offer a VIP day for $5,000 where people can fly in and learn your suppliers, learn how you advertise on Facebook, learn how you know, do all of those things. Imagine when you started your business, if you had someone that you could have just followed around for a day, learned everything, how much time and money and effort would that have saved you? And the other thing too is just quite frankly, in the economy that we're still in, high-end has done well, correct? And I'm not saying that that's good or correct, but the other thing I can tell you is this, that if you, because I know my tribe, if you put a high-end offer up there, you're not going to not deliver, right? No one's going to show up at your house for a $5,000 VIP day and you're going to be like, thanks for coming, here's a box of chocolates, see ya, right? No, I know you all. I know that part of the problem is that you actually over-deliver, right? So, consulting, coaching, intimate is also what works. So, there definitively is a trend for like, join a mastermind, get a group of people, get no interaction, you know, from the person who's leading it kind of thing. I don't find that that's necessarily the thing that works. I think that having a certain level of intimacy is potent, be it, you know, put your offer together where you offer a Facebook group where you're available. You know, I'm in the middle of the night in my Facebook group. People are like, what are you doing up at that ungodly hour? It's like, I am breastfeeding Olivia and I am responding to you. So, high touch works. And here's the other fascinating thing about high end, quite frankly. So, the higher end your client, the less hand holding they need. People who truly are there to get, and I don't mean financial return on investment, you know, like I know somebody who is looking at doing some medical packages where you would be able to connect with them and you would be able to, in the middle of the night, say, my baby, you know, has this problem. And they would have somebody who would be able to look at the pictures of your baby's whatever and tell you if that kid's okay or not. That kind of high touch is priceless for people, right? So that might not be the case of not having to, you know, at least have people on standby who can answer in the middle of the night. But those kind of folks, if they're going to pay like $5,000 a month for, you know, on-call medical opinions, are not going to be the kind of folks who are going to send you 5 to 8 emails a day, right? They're out living their lives. You will find it to be true that truly time and money are the same thing. And so if you've got folks who are not respecting your time, they probably have not amassed a lot of money. And if people have amassed a lot of money, they probably will really respect your time. If you do high-end offers well, it's almost like being on retainer. And so know too that, you know, it is important that you be able to deliver. So again, this is not just about like jacking up your prices. I know that the people who are drawn to me really have something real to deliver, right? And I know if you're not out there making high-end offers, that you're scared. And I know, just by the fact that you're so afraid, that there's so much goodness that you should be out there offering. You should be on 5 phone calls today. Like, let's get the leads, let's do it. It's time to step up. It's time to have impact. It's time to stop being afraid. It's the truth. So, let's see where we are. We've got 15 minutes left. My gosh, there's so much to talk about. So, I want to make sure we're going to leave time at the end to talk about the thing that gets 16 times the normal results, because that's key. But let's make sure that we also cover what it is that people do that blows the strategy. So here's the real deal. You've got your great Facebook ad, right? And you've got a good high-end offer, right? Got all that together. And then it's time to get on the phone, correct? And most people push. We've learned that sales is a bad thing. We've watched other people sell to us. We've felt manipulated. We think that we've got to be somebody different than who we really are when we're selling. We think we have to be aggressive. We're scared to say the price out loud, so we gun it. We push the pedal to the floor when it gets to that part. We're afraid of rejection, so we don't even ask for the price that we want. We become like this other person when we sell. Because sometimes it's training, sometimes we don't know. I mean, when I started doing high-end, I had been recruited by this woman on Madison Avenue who seriously would like breathe down the back of my neck. I can like feel it today still. Selling her, you know, $350 sweaters with it was so funny. It was like her cat that was knitted on these sweaters. You could also get your cat, but God bless her, like she'd sell $350 sweaters to like all the celebrities and all these really wealthy families with her cat on it. So funny. So sometimes we don't know how to sell those cat sweaters, right? And thank goodness somebody taught me. And sales is completely teachable. If you're sitting here and thinking like natural born salesperson, I don't even believe it, because I don't find that kind of sales works these days. I actually find that kind of sales sometimes really offensive. So the deal is this: you really come from a place of service, you really know how to sell that cat sweater, and then you're really able to be authentic and be connected and receive. That's the deal. Like, for most of us, the difficulty is this: like, we can give, and we're uncomfortable with the receiving, right? And so once you get comfortable with that, you can not push. And the brilliance of being conscious and being present during that part of a sale is that then you connect with people who actually really need you in a really genuine way, and they're able to move forward, and it's a relationship that works. If you become someone else when you are selling, you are going to find that you have very unhappy clients, because what they've bought is someone who is not you. I use analogies all the time in dating. I don't want to look at the chat, but I can imagine, like, here go all my clients. They're like, yes, she does, because it works. So the deal is, it's like, so if you want to get married and you pretend to be somebody entirely different before you get married, and then you get married 20 years in, it's going to stink, because they didn't marry you, they married somebody else. So all that stuff about not knowing how to say the price, all that stuff about being afraid to say the price, all that stuff about thinking that you're worth more than the price, whatever that garbage is, has to be cleared out, so there's a clear channel so you can just ask for what you're worth. And you are worth a lot. If you take nothing else from this hour together, take this with you. that you are worth a lot. So let's get the structures around that to support it, right? Realize I'm looking at the lower part of the camera instead of talking to the higher part. So like, how intimate is that? I keep doing it. We have a new camera. I apologize. So the ways to not push, here's some tips about that. We talked about listening. Like you gotta have a good script. You gotta have a good, even if it's not a script, a good plan for your time on the phone with people. When I do high-end offers with people, I spend at least an hour with them because I really want to make sure they're a match. I don't want somebody to have like an entire year with me and $60K worth of investment and really my unending commitment to their business if they're not somebody that I want to spend that amount of time with, if I can't get results for them, right? So it's really important for you as someone who's selling to really listen. And it also, you know, the fascinating thing is that when I do role playing with people and have them be the salesperson, when they really listen to me, I'm like a hard person to sell to. I will tell you, I'm really hard to sell to. It's probably just the flip side of the sales thing when I used to struggle. But if somebody really listens to me, like if they let me go on and on and on, and I feel like they're with me and they're getting me, like I'm 3/4 of the way sold. I don't even know what I'm buying. And so you really want to listen, and you really want to care, and you really want to be present. And the deal is that there are so many people who need really you. So it's, you know, you're going to get on some calls where it's not a match, and that's fine. The point is not to go on the date and marry the first guy that you meet, right? The point is to find the right guy. When I was, this is crazy, it's so funny, because my husband's here and he's doing tech stuff, so it's so funny to tell this story even. So, like when I was 12, I had this, God bless me, when I was 12, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to meet all of the men in Asia. Like there's so many men in Asia, how am I ever going to find my husband? Because I have to meet every man in the world. Like I just thought, God bless me when I was 12. Thank the Lord I didn't have to meet that many men, you know, like your clients are going to come to you when you have listened to the people who need you about what they need, when you've put that out into the universe, which is called Facebook ads is the smart, quick way to do that easily today. And when you really listen, and when you really, you know, put together your offer in a way so that it has leverage, so that it has boundaries, so that it's set up so that you can really deliver, you're golden. You're golden. The world doesn't actually want you to over-deliver, by the way. It's not the point. So, let's see. Obviously, during your session, you want to provide value. So it's not just about sitting and listening. You actually want to give someone the tools for transformation. When I spend time with somebody, you know, it's like, and here's the path. Like here legitimately is the path. And that's actually what works. Not being like, oh, and there's some secret smoke and mirrors method that I have hidden somewhere. No, it's actually about really caring about the person. It's about really providing value. And then, you know, quite frankly, giving them an option about whether they want to move forward or not. It's really that simple. That's what works in sales today. Dramatically different than the way that most of us have been sold to. Dramatically different than the way that most of us sell, right? And that's why it works. It's because it's dramatically different. And it really caters to the needs of what people out there are wanting. So, with our 10 minutes left, let's talk about two things. First of all, having the life you love, and then the ad that gets 16 times the results. So, you want to think about things like this. Once you have great Facebook ads, you can run them forever. I mean, you want to take them down for a little bit, but then you want to reuse them. Quite frankly, if this web show goes well, you may be watching a recording of this. This may be later, and you may be seeing it, and I may be repurposing it, and I may be at the park with my kids. It doesn't mean that there's less care for me, right? But if you find something that works and that draws the people to you that need you, and the content is good, you can reuse it and reuse it and have your Facebook ads like set up seasonally. Facebook ads will run out. They will expire in terms of interest, in terms of low-cost leads, in terms of flavor of the month kind of stuff. in terms of what works. There are trends and you need to be on top of them. But if you really want to create something that works well for you in your life, looking at a way to do that that is not $17 ebooks. You know, $17 ebooks to your first million. Like, how many ebooks would that take? Like gazillions, correct? And it also doesn't mean that you just need to offer high-end stuff. You know, like I certainly have stuff that is not high-end. Not a lot of it, but you know, definitely there are ways to work with me that are like an 8-week way that is not a 60K package, correct? So you want to build your business so that your life works. And the other thing I would say too that I find to be real is, for me in my business, like I've stepped up in a massive way this year. I'm so grateful. Lord, am I grateful to the people who have helped me, right? So had a second kid and you go, oh my goodness, like 2 college educations and 2 babies to spend time with. I work 20 hours a week in my business. And I've had fabulous people who have just like reached a hand out and said, hey baby, this way, you know, like here's the path, this is what works, you can do this, go for it. And so when you come from a place that is not of struggle in your business, what you're able to provide to people is of so much higher value, right? Like, do you want to go to a weight loss coach who is just like thinking about their potato chips the whole session they're with you, you know, and just like trying not to eat the cake off the floor? No, you want to go to somebody who's found some ease around it, right? So you really do want to find a way in your business to have some ease. And for me, quite frankly, the way to do that is by stepping up, not by stepping backwards. When I feel nauseous, I know it's the right step to take for my business. And you know, I hadn't been nauseous for a while in my business. I had lots of referrals, plenty of people, doing quite fine. And then Olivia was born, and I'm up at night feeding her all of the time, and I fall in love with Facebook ads. God bless me, you know. And so just have devoured as much of that as I could, applied it to what I know, having been fortunate enough to be in high-end sales forever, and have found a path that works. So this may or this may not be the path for you. This is not for everybody, to be clear. However, if it makes you a little bit nauseous, I know that you're my tribe. If it gets under your skin a little bit, if there are, you know, areas of it that are pushing it for you, that's sort of the way that I know in my own life to move forward. And I know it's a good day when I'm on the line with folks who are saying, wow, this scares the crap out of me, and I'll do it. So if you're one of those people that this is scaring the crap out of, and you'd like somebody to hold your hand, move you forward through it, please jump on social media heaven, heaven.com/350K as in kite. My son Henry loves kites. Fill out one of the applications, and just as soon as we can, we'll get back to you. I imagine that when I check my inbox, I'm going to have loads of them. So we will be back to you as soon as we can if you're a match. It has been awesome being with you guys. Okay, so then the last piece that I want to share about the 16 times results. So for those of you who are good at Facebook ads, know Facebook ads, this is a new development. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, I'm going to break it down a little bit for you too. So here's the drill. With Facebook ads, you know when you're like looking at a pair of shoes online, and then the next day that pair of shoes shows up in your news feed, and you're like, oh my gosh, holy smokes, it's a sign from heaven. I meant to buy these pumps. It is not. It is Facebook retargeting. And there are a lot of sites that you can go out there and use that will do it for you. It's about cookies, it's about pixels, and then that stuff just pops in your feed. It's all automated. The cool thing is that, quite frankly, Facebook ads is now doing it too. So when you go into and follow these steps, if you know this stuff, and if this stuff is beyond where you are, don't even worry about it, because you don't need to use this stuff to apply anything we've talked about. But if you go into Chrome and you do Facebook Power Editor, and you go into Custom Audiences, and you click on that, then you will find a drop-down menu that includes things like MailChimp and uploading custom audiences from files, and you will also find at the very bottom, create a custom audience from your website. Now Facebook itself will do retargeting for you. The brilliance is that you can do ads that are not like the ads that other folks can do. So you can do more effective types of ads. It is seriously ingenious, and they have found in studies that when you retarget people, they buy a lot more often, because the thing we want to think about is this too. So you go on a first date with somebody and you're like, that was an awesome first date, but my grandma's sick in Ohio and I have to go back, and so I don't know if I want to pursue it. I'm a little nervous about getting involved with anybody anyway. I'm going to stay a little bit on the fence. Then he like walks down the street. You're like, whoa, maybe that's a sign. Maybe I'm supposed to run into him. Maybe he sent some flowers. What a sweet guy. Maybe he just sends a text that says thinking about you. Whatever the case may be, it's a really bad analogy for retargeting, but with Facebook ads it works really well, because you're sitting there and you're thinking, maybe I should sign up with the strategy session with Lindsay. And then like in the right hand side it keeps popping up, Lindsay, 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 Lindsay. A, Lindsay must be cool. She's all over everywhere. B, Lindsay must be awesome. She must have a huge budget for Facebook marketing because she's retargeting, which is not necessarily the case. I can just upload the people who've RSVP'd here as a custom audience and put my little ad up, right? But retargeting really, you know, they say it takes 7 times of someone seeing something before they purchase. There is, especially if you're doing stuff online, time where people are going and checking out other stuff other places, right? But if you keep appearing, the chance of them purchasing is much, much higher. It's great for your brand. Not that expensive. Yeah, and so it's one of the great developments in Facebook ads. So when you get it really boiled down to a strategy that really works, right? Because at the end of the day, I think the goal is like, what's your why? What do you do your business for? At the end of it all, are you getting that? Are you getting time with your kids? Are you enjoying your life? Are you reaching your purpose? Do you go to bed satisfied at night? Not like how many Facebook ads can you put up, right? Not like how many bucks can you make? But when you figure out a really boiled down process that works very easily and moves you forward, that's what I have to offer to you. The good news is that that is possible, and I have found it through Facebook ads and high-end sales. That may change tomorrow, so you want to stay in touch because I'm always about what works, but I don't think it's changing right away. It definitively works, and there's huge opportunity because there aren't that many people out there who are doing it, and among the people who are doing it, there aren't a lot of people who are doing it well, and among the people who are doing it well, getting on the call with people and chatting with people is not always folks' forte, so you really want to have a blend. You want to have a blend of good ads, good offer, good conversation, and good life. So that's it. It's been such a pleasure to be with you all. I see somebody who's nauseous and nervous in the chat. I hear you, I hear you. So socialmediaheaven.com/350K. If the page is still up with the application, we'll leave the page up because it's got the example of the ad. But if the page is still up with the application, it means that we're still taking them. Wow, it is wild to get on one of these and not sell a darn thing. It's pretty liberating, right? So it has been a joy to be with you, and stay in touch. If you have questions, feel free to go to facebook.com/ILikeLindsay, LINDSAY, and I will answer as much as I can. But after I get off today, I will tell you, I'm going to go hang with my kids a little bit, go get a massage. I wish you all a great afternoon, and you know, if you feel compelled, if you know that having more of this is right for you, be sure to put that in the application too, because those of you who are ready to go and move forward, I'm a great mom, and partially I'm a great mom because I'm able to spend some time with some great clients and get them some great results, and you know, do things like spread spiritual integrity, or you know, really help folks who need it, and that brings me great joy. And so if that's you, I'd love to help. Okay, thanks. I click stop, right?
Yes.